Page 1.
Teacher, everyone has one.
Consensus is not 100% unanimously, okay? Meaning that you will not get 100% agreement in anything. But it is a decision that you cooperatively decide that you are willing to live with the decision. In other words, it's the opposite of my way or the highway. So what is consensus? It's a cooperative process in which people share their best ideas and come up with a superior decision, or a time-wasting process in which those which are most treacherous are most verbal, the most time can get their way. Meaning, for example, if you don't do consensus, it's the one who has the power will win, not the idea. Consensus is not unanimity. That means you won't get the 100%. That's the second point. So, third point, consensus is a process for deciding what is best for the group. Okay? Again, that's the key. You ground it in that. It's a partnership. It's the group that's more important than the decision. It's like, what we talk about in my family for all these years. It's like, me and my wife gets together, even though like for 25 years I go to work, I bring in the money, and then she supports most of the time, she stays home. Okay? And now she goes home, out of work, and I still stays home. But you know what? The consensus process does never change. We go together. We're normally, apart from the boys, we go to McDonald's or somewhere, preferably like a pho place, okay? And husband and wife sits down, and then I would do the consensus with her. I would say, honey, what's your ideas about this? And then I would listen. Okay? And then I would say, okay, what you said is, okay, we looked at Atlanta, we looked at Houston, let's see what the job offers. Okay? Let's pray and see what God has to say. Okay? And that's how we do it. And that's how I keep the partnership. It's more important than a decision. Decision about going to Vietnam or me quitting my job is the same thing. I have to make that decision. When we came here to decide, should we buy a house, where do we buy a house, where do we go to work, which church we serve, blah, blah, blah. It's just on and on and on. We go through the process. And it's very simple. For you, like I said, looking for a girl, you want her, does she want you, can you afford her, will they let you, and you be together serving Christ. Very simple. It's the same thing for me. How do I know if I can serve Christ? Do I want to? Can I afford it? Will they let me? Okay, when I came to Houston, quite a few number of churches asked me, hey, we need your help, come. It's easy. That was an easy answer. Okay, can I afford it? Yeah, for 25 years I worked, and now I'm at the point where my wife's going to work. Okay, so that's just an example. Okay, in the middle of page 1 is a cooperative process. Not just a process, but a valuable goal. Okay, so you don't just do it, you have a goal to do it. Consensus is one of the best processes. Page 2. It's not about voting, okay? The human tendency is that when you go to these meetings and then you can't agree, then you say, okay, let's vote. When you vote on something, that means you isolate half of the team. Okay? That's why bitterness is kind of like built. You kind of harvest this bitterness in any team concept, or in the husband or wife relationship, or in the church. That's what happened, They come with a decision and they go, we're going to build this church over here. And then they vote on it. And then half of the people says, I don't agree with that. And the other half says, I want it. What happened? Yeah, they split the church. And they never talked about it, but that's how it is. That's kind of nuts in my mind. But anyway. But that's what we do. We're just nuts. We just do nutty things. And then we ended up asking the question, well, why? We're not asking the question, why? Let's go to page 3.
Yeah, page 3.
Yep. You must have an agenda item when you go to a consensus meeting. For example, you need to know, why are you meeting for? Okay? I mean, if we decide as a family where we live, that's the topic. We're not going to talk about how to cure AIDS. Okay? So, I used to have a consensus. I know these guys are getting married, but I used to have a consensus. Where are we going to spend all our money? Is this going to be at the wedding or is that at the restaurants? Okay, and we go on and on, I don't know, but we have to have that consensus because we have that X number of dollars, So as early as those days, we discuss that. But you have to come to a decision because you know what? If I did this, what most men do, yes, ma'am, yes, honey, okay, and then you get married, and you say, woo! For anyways, most of you are not there yet, so you're not there yet. But anyway, here, gather the agenda. I'm on page 3. Determine the announcement, report back, discussion, decision. Agenda review, you got to do. And then remember in the middle there, choose a facilitator, minute taker, timekeeper, stacker, vibes, watcher. What does that mean? Basically, somebody who's hearing the intensity and the conflict and the voice raising. That's the person who's going to say, whoa, let's stop talking before we get into a fist fight. That's the person. So you need to have a facilitator. You need to have a minute taker. Why? Because then somebody's going to say, hey, 5 more minutes for discussion. We're not going to discuss anymore. 5 more minutes. That's it. Okay? So that has to be agreed upon. And then that's the timekeeper. Okay? And then the minute taker is the one who takes the notes. Okay? Now, you have the agenda. You walk through the agenda. So like I said, don't curate, just decide on what you're going to sell. And then the next meeting. But what's important is at the end of it, you have an evaluation. Okay? So like for example, I would ask you, hey, how do we do today? Do you like this? Hey, do you like this? How do we do today as far as our meeting? Okay? And you go around the circle, have everybody have a voice to say. Because the ones who are not happy will say, this is terrible. Everybody's like monopolizing this, and they're talking like crazy, and I haven't gotten a chance to say anything. Okay? Evaluation is critical. Okay? Very important. Okay? And then you close it. So here's the flow on the bottom of page 3. Raise the issue. What is the problem? Okay? Clarity of the problem. Put it in the context. Discuss, bring it out with diversity of ideas. Encourage heartfelt dissent and challenge. Okay? Argue it out if you have to. But learn to paraphrase people, so that's how you communicate. Synthesize, propose idea, evaluate, and then make sure that there are no loose ends. Okay? Page 4. Discuss the problems. The brainstorming, I asked, next time we have a chart, okay? Then the first thing you do is you brainstorm. In the brainstorming time, don't argue. Don't criticize. Whatever anybody says, put it down. Unless it's really vulgar. It's wrong. Now, that's wrong, okay? Then you don't put it down. But anything, no idea is a bad idea or a stupid idea. There's no idea is a stupid idea. Okay? So when you're brainstorming, it's one of those things when how many of you have like writer block? Writer block? When you sit, and I used to have that problem, because English is not my first language. So when I would sit, I would just like, nothing come out. Nothing come out. And then somebody just said to me, look, whatever you think, just write. So you just start writing. And then I'll take a hard work to just, But that's what brainstorming is, okay? And then go around the circle. That's another. The moderator or the facilitator will do that. So you can go around the robin by asking, okay, so what do you think? Okay. And what I heard, what you said is, good. What do you think? And then the facilitator would say, what I heard, what you said was, okay? And then, what do you think? And that's it. That's what a facilitator does. The facilitator doesn't do this. Now, remember, okay? It's like a small group leader. Oh, I don't agree with that. No, that's wrong. No, by the way, have you ever thought about this? That's not a facilitator, okay? A facilitator only asks for the feedback and opinion and do not. That's why the facilitator does not give his or her own opinion when he's or she facilitates. Very important. Now, in the group, you kind of switch. Small group discussion, advantage and disadvantage chart. You do 2 charts. You do visual aids. You do visible notes. You set the goals and priorities, and then you challenge. Do the devil's advocates. What are the advantages of selling egg rolls versus the advantages of selling going down the list. Active